Dambe Mat Ki Jai, Harakhande Sri Mat Ki Jai, Mahamaya Ki Jai, Mahashakti Ki Jai, Shri Durga Maya Ki Jai.
Basically, I'm going to tell you what I learned from being in India, and then I'm going to tell you some things that Babaji told me about mantra breathing that are new. And we recommend you breathe in and out through your mouth in a circular, smooth rhythm. If those of you that are new to this, no pause at the top, no pause at the bottom. And you breathe in the upper chest because we're trying to heal the damage done to the breath mechanism at birth when they cut the cord too fast. So we don't do stomach breathing. Okay, so you know I've worked on myself for decades, and you're never done. You're never finished. There's always a higher level. So I don't judge myself when I go through things, and I don't say, oh, why am I still having that process? Because I know until we're like Jesus and Babaji, we have something to clear, right? And then maybe if we're like them, we wouldn't have to clear something. But until that day, we have stuff to clear. So what came up for us was what I would call original guilt. Now, I'm not a person that's guilty in my life. I don't go around thinking I'm guilty or anything. So I was really shocked when this guilt came up, which had been very suppressed, obviously. And some of it was even religious guilt. I was raised in a Lutheran church, and they imply you're born a sinner, and of course you're going to be guilty if they tell you you're born a sinner. And you don't even realize how much that affects your life. Even if you weren't told that in this life, you could have been told that a few lifetimes ago. And your 5 lifetimes of religion affects you. So even the religious training you had 5 or 6 lifetimes around could still be affecting you. So I found out that there was this deep guilt about taking a body. The original guilt is thinking that you separated from God when you took a body. Therefore, you're just a born a sinner and you're just innately guilty. So that's what got triggered in me. I was pretty shocked. And I got a lot of pain in my hips where I was holding this guilt, and I kept trying to figure out, why am I holding this guilt? Well, then we shaved our heads, which did help a lot. And we did that because we were trying to complete the death in our family with the brother-in-law. And they recommend when there's a death in the family, you do shave your head, which is very valuable because your death urge gets really activated when somebody dies, especially a family member, or it could even be a pet. So just so you know, that's recommendation. So we gladly did that without hesitation. And then yesterday I was preparing myself for today by just rebirthing myself to the mantras. And what came up for me was pretty surprising. I had a loyalty to guilt. I couldn't believe it, that word came up, loyalty, because I was loyal to the church and loyal to the family mind, which is all stuck in guilt. The family mind, your family is all stuck in their guilt. They never clear it. And the church is stuck in guilt. So I had a loyalty to that because loyalty was important to me. And I didn't feel safe if I was disloyal. So that's what I had to breathe out yesterday. And that was a huge breakthrough for me, to realize that I was loyal to guilt because of the church and the family. And you may have that going on, even though you don't think it consciously. You can have that going on in your subconscious too. And of course, guilt always demands punishment. So how are you punishing yourself for your suppressed guilt? Usually by having pain in the body, or a sickness, or losing money, or destroying a relationship, or whatever. But often in the body, guilt is projected onto the body, and then the body has a symptom. So a lot of times you don't get over your symptoms very fast because you're not handling the guilt that's behind the symptom. So I'm trying to save you guys time by pointing this out. Next time you're processing any symptoms in your body, you need to study, what are you guilty about? Are you also loyal to guilt? What is your fear of giving up the loyalty to the guilt? So, my fear of giving up loyalty to the church and I wouldn't be connected to anybody. That's what came up for me. And then I realized, and I was talking it over with Marcus, and he said, well, it's okay to be disloyal to something that's not constructive. I said, thank you. So now I am loyal to the Dream Team, Babaji, Jesus, the Divine Mother, Holy Spirit, and not loyal to guilt anymore. So I hope that you learned something from that little talk. Then the other thing that happened is Babaji told me more about the value of mantra breathing. And I've written up quite a bit, and I told you before, and I'll tell you the new stuff he told me. First of all, the mantra is a mystical formula that helps you go into a deep state, and it energizes whatever your intention is. So you guys all stated your intention. Take off your glasses, by the way, so you can relax more, Brenda. It accesses a higher level of consciousness, awareness. It will help alter your subconscious habits and afflictions. It gives you the direct healing power of prana. It's a wonderful, pleasing spiritual practice, and it's kind of a magic formula which can entirely change any situation. That's how powerful the mantra is. Now, combining it with the breathing is like a double whammy, and it's Babaji that gave me this idea for mantra breathing to the mantra. So I'll tell you what else he told me recently. He said the mantra will become very comforting to you. The more you hear the mantra while you're breathing, the more you get cleared out. The mantra will clear us of anything unlike itself. Now, the mantra is a very high frequency. It's praises to God. You don't even have to understand it if it's in Sanskrit. It's all praises to God. So it's really like a sound healing. And it does a repair job on the part of your body that's affected. So you want to take in the mantra like a medicine. You want to take in the mantra like a drink. And you could say now the intention is the mantra is repairing my body, restoring it, regenerating it, rejuvenating it, and helping me relax. You can do all of that. So while you're listening to the mantra, try to stay with it. If your mind wanders off to something in your case or your worries, try to go back to the mantra. And then I always try to say, I'm learning to stay with the mantra. Sometimes my mind wanders off. It will still work even if your mind is wandering off, but it'll work better if you stay focused on the mantra and kind of repeat it in your head as if you're singing it. It will push out your subconscious fears, and that's really a big gift, It's also pleasurable to hear the mantra. It's an enjoyable technique. You get to feel good, and you feel good at the effects of the mantra. So we're feeling the love of God within us. The mantra is the love of God. And the mantra is stronger than whatever your resistance is. Sometimes we resist change like crazy. The mantra is stronger than your resistance, and it will replace the fear that you're holding on to. So do you want to actually hear the mantra, or do you want to hear your mind chatter? You have to decide, which do you prefer? So you want to prefer the mantra over this chatter, whatever you're worried about. Obviously, it's going to help you tap into higher energies. And, the reason it's so good to hear these particular mantras, these are Babaji devotees who are singing with such incredible energy and delight. His energy is coming through to you, and our energy is coming through to you. Of course, you can do this on your own at home, but it's not as effective. It's much more effective to do it with a group. You get all the energy of the group helping you. You get our energy, you get Babaji's energy. And so that's why we like having these gatherings. So that mantra will open you up and help you open your heart. And I never get tired of this mantra. Some music, you get tired of it. I never get tired of hearing these mantras. The mantra will also stimulate higher thoughts. So at some point, you want to have, maybe not today, but in the future, bring up a little note card and pen to jot things down that you might hear. And it's fun to listen to these mantras, and you can sing them too. That's fun. And one should take the mantra seriously and let the mantra take over your body. It's kind of like a lazy man's yoga. That's why I like it. You can lie down and have all these results, you know. I don't like to go to the gym. I don't like to do a lot of jogging. I really don't like to do a lot of diets and all these things. I like to work on myself spiritually, and I call myself having a spiritual workout. Yesterday, I did a spiritual workout for 3 or 4 hours, you know, listening to mantras, and I really got so much out of it. So that kind of workout I like to do. Sometimes, you know, you could move your hands over the part of your body that feels stuck, and imagine putting the mantra in there if you can. So this is the main thing that Babji taught me yesterday. By continuing mantra breathing regularly, there's a certain state that arrives where negativity cannot stick in your body anymore. You're in a higher frequency all the time, and you can't, you know, I mean, this alone is a good reason to keep doing mantra breathing every week, I think, because you'll get to the point where the bad energy just can't stick in your body anymore. That's what he taught me yesterday. So the mantras can heal you, and doing it with liberation breathing pushes out the tension. And it's good if you do this every week, actually. So we hope you will commit to that. Okay, so now let's start. Marcus, which one are you going to play today?
Dambe Mat ki jai, Harakhande Sri Mat ki jai, Mahamaya ki jai, Mahashakti ki jai, Shri Durga Maya ki jai. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarva